Hey guys, what's up? It's 8-Bit Eric. I am back. We're going to talk about Nintendo Switch games. Now today's video is going to be about horror games on the Nintendo Switch. If you know anything about me, you will know that I am a pretty big chicken shit when it comes to playing and watching and looking at scary things. And what better comeback for the channel than to talk about 6 games on the Nintendo Switch that you can play to scare the living bejesus out of your pants. What is living bejesus? Vaccine is a callback to the classic 90s Resident Evil style gameplay. Everything about this game upon first impression just makes you step back in time where early 3D polygons and low texture details of everything in your environment just reign supreme in gaming. Now, Vaccine takes place in a mansion where you play as one of 2 characters who are tasked with finding a cure in order to help your partner who's fallen victim to the Shredder syndrome, which is the virus that has been prevalent in the mansion that's in this game. Now, the game has a time limit of 30 minutes in order for you to find the cure and get the heck out of Dodge. So that adds to the tension of the game. On top of that, the levels are procedurally generated, so item location, enemy location, everything about this game you're not able to practice and play through and memorize. So it's like if Resident Evil had procedurally generated mansions every time you played, you'd be screwed. And this is an interesting idea that keeps the gameplay fresh and forces you to change your strategy every time you play. You can either go in stealthy, trying to avoid the enemies by choice, or not by choice because you can't find a weapon at any point of the game that you're able to be accessible at. So honestly, it does seem like luck does play a big part in Vaccine. And you know, there's a little bit of an RPG element, fortunately, where the more enemies that you kill, you gain experience, you can aim better, you can cause more damage, and you're able to access new areas and find new documents that allow you to increase your stat points, and you have like traits and stuff that can be all upgraded, so that's pretty unique. The enemies in this game come in the forms of the standard zombie, annoying rat-like creatures that just kind of bite you, and then some liquor-looking type of characters, liquor-looking, say that 5 times, that are almost like a generic liquor right out of Resident Evil. Overall, Vaccine is a nice callback to the 1990s genre of survival horror, but to be honest, it is a bit average when it comes to gameplay and everything else on the Nintendo Switch. The other games that I'm going to be comparing and including in today's video are actually a little bit more in-depth and something that you could sink your teeth into. Now, speaking of Resident Evil, the Resident Evil Revelations collection is now out on the Nintendo Switch. Now, quick warning, it does include both games, but only one of them is physical, the other one is a download, so be careful if you're gonna buy this used. Now, I was a big fan of Resident Evil Revelations when it came out on the 3DS, and the sequel that came out on the Wii U. I played both of them, so it was nice that both of these games were coming out in one package on the Switch. Now, these spin-offs kind of harken back to the classic Resident Evil style of gameplay where you're in a set location, but it still kind of had a bit of that action that came out in the later titles. So it's a good hybrid of later games with the originals. Now, there's Chris and Jill, they're back in the original one. Jill's going on a boat to try to look for Chris Redfield. Now, there's chapters and different sections of the game where you switch back and forth between each character, and overall, I think Resident Evil Revelations was a joy to play on the 3DS, and I always kept saying I wanted this on console, so when it finally got moved over to other consoles and stuff, I was really happy. I think overall, when it comes to the Switch version of this game, the textures and graphics, everything about it run pretty smooth. You gotta remember, it was on a handheld console, so moving over to the Nintendo Switch should be pretty easy. And now let's go ahead and talk about a game that is a little bit slower paced than the action aspect that games like Resident Evil have. This is a little bit more story driven. It's Perception. Now, it's a game that has you playing as a blind girl that's exploring a mansion that she keeps having nightmares about. Now, that doesn't seem too wise, right? You already can't see, so you're gonna go and explore this mansion and investigate what it means to you. Now, the gameplay is based on walking around the mansion. So this is a walking simulator. You tap your cane, which causes some sound waves that really illuminate the room, and you're able to see objects, doorways, see what's in the way just temporarily. As long as there's sound moving, you're going to be able to see these sound waves. It's kind of like Daredevil's powers. Now, of course, this is not realistic in any form or fashion. This doesn't really happen to blind people, but it does add a real good little sense of paranormal activity to this type of game, and causes a cool little mechanic that I really haven't seen in many other games. I mean, call me uncultured and a swine, but I thought it was really cool. Now, key objects, as I mentioned, in the dark will be outlined in green. You'll see a lot of blues and things like that. They slowly fade when there's no noise. If you do make too much noise with that tapping on the chamber door, a presence will show up and hunt for you. Now, you gotta hide. You're not able to attack or defend yourself. You gotta find a way or a place to hide and just wait it out. And that does add a little bit to the chilling atmosphere, because you gotta rely on making sound in order to see where to go next on the level and stuff. And I think overall, Perception does do a great job of creating a very interesting gameplay mechanic, and manages to make it feel a little unsettling since you're walking around blind when you don't make noise. I definitely enjoyed this one. Now, the next game is Don't Knock Twice. This game is similar to Perception and Layers of Fear, as in it's a walking simulator. It's based on a movie of the same name. You take on the role of a girl named Jess, who at a young age gave away her daughter when it was born, and she's trying to reconnect with her daughter, and of all places, a scary mansion. I mean, what's the thing with scary mansions? I feel like Seinfeld. What is it with scary mansions? Now, the gameplay, as I mentioned, consists mostly of walking throughout this creepy mansion, and, you know, a lot like other games, there's jump scares and creepy atmospheres, you know, weird looking paintings and stuff on the wall, and you run into a lot of obstacles that kind of get in your way. There's puzzle solving, things like that, and a lot of plot elements that add to the creepy aesthetic of this game. You run into a witch. She kind of scares you throughout the whole house. A lot of demonic stuff, to be honest, and I'm really scared of demonic stuff. You interact with a candle and a phone. The phone provides clues. The candle just kind of adds to the ambiance. Yeah, it does get pretty intense at times when it comes to how the game plays, and you're basically having to rely on the, I guess, you know, finding an axe to go through a door, stuff like that. I mean, if you've played a walking simulator, then you've played this one. It's not really any different. I just find the whole demonic thing kind of scary. When I reviewed this game, I did tear into it quite a bit because the frame rate upon launch on the Switch was so bad, but they have since patched the game, and it runs even better now. And if you have the time and you like things like this, it is actually worth a playthrough. I think you'll have a lot of fun checking it out. One of the most scariest experiences I've played on the Nintendo Switch has been both Outlast games. I've never played either one of these the first time they came out, so my first foray into Outlast was on the Switch. Now, when I got warned by my good friend RGT85 that I was gonna shit my pants when I played Outlast, he wasn't wrong. Now, you play as a gentleman that's exploring strange occurrences in an insane asylum. Now, the difference between a game like Outlast and a lot of other survival horror games is you're not able to defend yourself at all. There's no way to attack anything in this game, so you're only able to avoid enemies by hiding. Now, the major gameplay mechanic of Outlast is your handy cam that is used to use night vision to see in the dark. Now, you have to use your battery life on your camera very wisely, or else you're gonna be stuck in the dark, literally. Now, luckily, there are spare batteries laying around. I've never seen so many spare batteries in my life. An insane asylum, but they're there to help you. I think the night vision mechanic was really cool. A lot of creepy stuff in here. There's like evil imagery, like decapitated bodies, blood everywhere, weird psycho patients in this insane asylum, nudity, lots of nudity. You will see dick in this game. The priest in this game is kind of creepy. There's a lot of, this was very tough for me to digest. And when Outlast 2 came out on the Switch, I got another warning from Sean. He told me good luck, and he was not joking. Now, Outlast 2 improves upon the whole idea of running and hiding, because again, you can't defend yourself, but instead of being in an insane asylum, it's in more of a remote location with like cornfields and lots of evil cultists. So it's I don't fuck around with cults. Now, I can fuck around a little bit with insane asylums, but cults, no thank you. So yeah, overall, Outlast 1 and 2 provided a huge amount of scares and thrills for me that I think overall is probably the best horror game on the Nintendo Switch at this time. You get both of them, includes like all the DLC and stuff. So yeah, guys, that was about 6 games on the Nintendo Switch that are surefire to shit your pants. I know there is a few others out there that I've reviewed and covered and seen other people play, like Detention, Oxenfree, The Final Station, several others, and I will be checking them out, covering them for you guys. But I just want to share you guys some of my favorite games from this genre on the Nintendo Switch. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching. If you want to comment down below, let me know what you think. I'll appreciate that. Don't forget to smash that like button and sub if you're brand new. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Peace out.